Our last video was all about demolishing our head. So this video is going to be all about the rebuild. Just to refresh your memory, our head used to look like this. So without further ado, let's jump right back in where we left off.
As you can see, I've made some progress. I painted up the locker, so that's got its first coat. I'm gonna put on at least 3, so I got a couple more. I have the platform for the head, and behind that, I know it's a little premature, but I'm leaving for out of town to LA for a whole week, and it's the little things in life, having a toilet working when you come home. So I built a little prototype template for our sink that we're gonna make. I'm trying to figure out exactly the right sink for this. This is a weird angle and a weird little spot. So there's a 14-inch round sink that I know they make. For this, I'm gonna make this leading edge as long as this is, because this is gonna be our opening cabinet. So I'm just trying to, at first I only had it this long. I've kind of realized that I need to bring this out to here. So that gives me enough room for the toilet still, and it just makes the countertop just a little bit bigger so the sink will fit better. Is there anybody else that has like a really hard time believing that something's gonna look the right way until it's actually happening? That's kind of how I felt about this countertop and sink for the past 2-3 weeks. And now that I got the first panel on, it's starting to finally feel like it's actually gonna look good and not look like crap. What do you got there?
Our new sink.
Gosh, hi.
Hi.
Wow.
Look at it.
Look at it. It is pretty.
According to Amazon, it was hammered out in the mountains of Mexico.
It looks pretty machined, but that's cool. Whatever.
I believe Amazon. 10 out of 10.
What's it like in there?
It's pretty nice. It's snug, but it's a boat, so it is what it is.
When you're moving, you won't be moving.
Yeah. Brace yourself. God. It has the edge like we like it. We chose the sink just so it could stick out a little bit farther like this because it looks pretty. And when all the teak is on here, it'll look really nice.
It's projects like these where I really wish that I had a table saw, but I may do with my hand plane to get a 45-degree side cut.
So I just finished putting up the structure of the cabinet, and it looks awesome. I gotta do one more cut, and then I'm gonna kind of dry fit everything, build the countertop, and then side it with the veneer that I got the other day from G&S, the teak. So getting really close. It looks very nice. So a while back I found a big teak door that was on our dumpster. And of course, me being who I am, I loaded it up in the back of the truck, and I was like, I'm gonna use this for something else. So today's the day. I'm gonna make that big countertop out of, not really big I should say, small countertop out of a big slab of teak. And I'm gonna use this door right there.
First thing I had to do was dismantle the door piece by piece. I then brought the rough planks to G&S Lumber and to mill each piece into 3-inch boards.
What are you doing now?
Stripping the varnish off of these pieces from the door that Chris salvaged, so it's actually coming off really easy.
So last night we glued together our countertop, and now I've just made the measurements on exactly the cut of the top of the sink, and now I'm just cutting it, and the jigsaw is not straight enough for me, and I don't have a table saw or a skill saw, so I'm just doing it with a hand saw.
This is what it looks like when I have the edge drawn out right here, and then I'm using this block as a nice flat surface to keep the blade nice and flat. That's gonna give me the straightest cut. So far it's been working out really good. That's a pretty darn straight edge for doing it by hand. Happy with that. So I've got most of the countertop made by now. As you can see, looking very jagged and very cornery still. So now I'm gonna go in with this marker, like this, and just mark the bowl right underneath. I've already done this, and it's giving me that nice mark right there. So it's a little later on now. I have measured and I have cut the teak veneer for the siding, and I just got done with the first panel and it looks just gorgeous. So now I am just taking the other side and I'm just sanding down this leading edge right here, just so I get a really clean edge and really perfect fit.
Once the teak veneer was in place, it was time to dry fit the sink, faucet, and countertop so we could start varnishing. For this project, we decided to try out a new varnishing technique. For the first coat, we used a mixture of half spar varnish and half mineral spirits that we applied with cheesecloth, and with each coat after that we gradually phased out the mineral spirits before the final coat, which was brushed on. Since these pieces were going into the head, which would be a humid environment, we applied 7 coats in total to be safe, sanding between each coat of course. This varnishing technique was efficient because it cut our drying time down, making it easier to do multiple coats in a day for the desired result.
So for the last 2 days now, the wind has been picking up crazy. Last night it blew at the top of 35 knots. Today it's been blowing 20, and now it's been getting worse. It's been blowing like 25. No one's been forecasting this, so really been hurting my varnishing techniques. As you can see, I've been having to put them all on the deck, which isn't really ideal. So, kind of sucks.
While Chris was varnishing the pieces outside, I was inside sanding, with Cleo supervising from the port light. Do you ever get the feeling that you're being watched?
have made a lot of progress lately. While I was gone in LA working, Marissa has put on 3 coats of varnish, so it's sanded at the moment, that's why it looks so crappy, but that's all good. The sink is all the way in, the tabletop's in. This, although the water's off, the faucet is halfway plumbed in. Right now I'm just plumbing in our toilet. This is about the state how it's going to be because I need to have a functional head when we go to Catalina, which is in 3 days. So, yeah, plumbing in the toilet, and we got a sink now, so this will be sort of a functional head at that point. And then when we get back, when we have a little bit more time, we can finish this up all the way.
3 weeks later.
We are finally getting back to the head project. We have found the right solution for that nook over there to make it look the right way, and also covering up the seacock because it's not the prettiest to look at. And it's my favorite part ever, and that's to rip out the head yet again. So let's get to it. I built a cubby, I'm awesome, and I deserve a beer. As you can see, the cubby is done. So we have these little floors in, so we can actually use this for storage now. Before, this was literally just shut off and you couldn't use any of this. So you can still get to the seacock underneath these floorboards. I'll drill a little hole so it's easier to get to. And yeah, all the teak is being put on right now. Just putting on the trim, and then we're going to start varnishing. Actually, well, Marissa's varnishing, and then I'm going to lay up all the fiberglass right here, so this is going to be watertight. And the next step after that is paint and tile, and then we're getting really close to being done. Unfortunately, we didn't fully capture the last half of the refit. We wanted to be done so bad that we put the camera down and just powered through. One gloomy day while Marissa was at work, I decided to start cutting and laying the tile. To cut the tile, I use an angle grinder along with a tile cutting blade. Now this isn't the best tool for the job, but being on a boat, it was the only option that I had.
Chris decided to use West Systems epoxy as the adhesive, since in theory it is more flexible than cement, and as you may or may not know, boats flex.
Once the epoxy had a good 24 hours to sit, I went in with grout and I had no idea how hard that job was going to be.
Now to wrap this whole head project together is finally the shower. So it's kind of ironic because from what you can remember in our last video, we addressed that we really didn't want a wet head. We wanted to build a shower stall. Unfortunately, that wasn't in the cards for us, but Chris did something amazing and made everything work out. So, our shower. Very simple installation, just 2 holes in the back, a couple screws, and Chris linked that in with our water system, good to go. We actually purchased all of our appliances on Amazon and they all match, which is amazing. Now this looks like metal, it's not. It's actually plastic, which is great because that means it's not gonna rust. Although we technically have a wet head, it's pretty cool how Chris designed it. So we moved all of our things that we didn't want to get wet, like the sink and the toilet, over here so we could hide it behind a shower curtain. As you can see, we have buttons along the wall here, and we have the reciprocal buttons on the shower curtain. So all you have to do is snap them in place like this. And just button that, and then you have your shower curtain. So obviously this door is usually shut. You have this much space to shower. And with the shower head up there, the water actually hits directly here, which is great for me since, as you can see, I'm perfect height for in here. Chris, however, he takes advantage of the bench most of the time and sits down to shower, or he just kind of makes the best of this corner over here, which gives him, I think, a little bit of room. And that's it. We're done. We finished. We finished the whole head refit. Thank you guys so much for watching everything. Let's cut right back
to modern day right now.
Okay, Marissa, you need to get out. I need to use a head, drink a whole pot of coffee. This captain has to bury some treasure. Let's go. I'm being serious.
Okay,
Can I open the door now? Thank you.
Okay, I'm done.
Get
I'm
out.
done. I'm done.
No,
I'm done.
thank you.
I'm done. Fine.
Oh, just because you got to shower with me in the last video, you think you can shower with Marissa in this video. Sorry to disappoint, not that kind of channel. Now, I really gotta go. See you next time. Oh, there's a Flick of 20 for sale right now. I love those boats. Anybody else like those boats? I love those boats. I'd love to have one. The Yankee Dirty. Way smaller than I thought.